Today, we're going to be ranking our top 25 players in the NBA. This video is a part 2, and for part 1, we ranked the top 50 through 26 NBA players. That video came out a few days ago, so make sure to check it out. Today, we're going to finish it off with 25 through number 1. Like we said in the previous video, this list is based on our expectations for the player heading into next season.
With that being said, at 25 we had Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell was great once again on the Cavs and was a really good mentor for the younger players. He did an excellent job fitting in and pushed the Cavs back into the playoffs. He's a super skilled player but can sometimes be really inefficient, which is why he's a bit lower on the list. With another year in the system, I expect Donovan and the Cavs to be even better and start creeping into the contender conversation in the East.
At 24, we have a player that we're a bit skeptical about, Domantas Sabonis. I know he had a great season last year, but I think Sabonis, as a player, is the definition of someone who can get exposed easily in the playoffs. For a center, he cannot shoot threes or really play defense. This is literally what takes you out of the playoffs. Nevertheless, he did have a great season and the Kings' offense was mainly ran through him. I'm expecting him to continue that and hopefully improve, even though I think he's a bit of a liability.
At 23, we have Bam Adebayo. Bam is one of the best defenders in the NBA and is super valuable to his Miami Heat team. We're talking about a guy who has been the second best player on 2 finals teams. Apart from his defense, he can do a little bit of everything. He can pass, score, and has even started developing a bit of a shot. His biggest weakness is his lack of aggressiveness at times, which we saw multiple times in the playoffs. I do believe, however, there's another level that he can reach, and I'm confident that with the hard work he puts in and beating this fantastic Miami Heat organization, he'll get there. At 22, we had the man, the myth, the legend, Zion Williamson. This is another player that we recently made a video on, and we said in the video that it's very tough to rank him. Talent-wise, he's top 15, no question about it. One of, if not the best, finisher in the NBA. The definition of bully ball. But he hasn't really been on the court, and his team has been hurt because of it. They missed the playoffs last year when they're the number 1 seed before he got injured. We're praying they can finally have a healthy season and make his playoff debut, because he really is one of the most naturally gifted players we have ever seen. At 21, we have somebody that you might think is a bit of a hot take to have this low, Paul George.
Paul George has been plagued by injuries over the last few seasons and has been a big part of the mess that is the Clippers. He's still one of the smoothest players in the game, and when healthy, still one of the best players. There are just too many questions surrounding his health and the team. In this moment, we are just not confident if they can put it together. We made a whole video about Paul George, so go check it out after this one. Moving into our top 20, we start with Anthony Edwards. I absolutely love this dude. He's so much fun on and off the court. He has developed so much already, and he's only going to go up from here. If he improves as a shooter and reduces some of the bad shots, we could be talking about a guy who can be the best player in the NBA and perhaps even the face. I expect him to take the Timberwolves into the playoffs next year and become their undisputed best player.
At number 19, we have a guy that wouldn't be surprised if you got stopped. We had him a bit too low. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Last year, he was able to average an efficient 30 points per game. This dude is one of the most skilled players in the whole league. But the lack of team success does lower his ranking a little bit for us. It's a team game, and obviously it's not his fault, but we do have to give credit to the guys above him who have had great playoff moments. The Thunder are going to have a real chance of making it to the playoffs next year, so hopefully we get to see him on the big stage. And I believe that his play style is going to transfer great.
At number 18, we have the highest paid player in the NBA, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has faced a lot of criticism because of how poorly he played in Game 7 versus the Miami Heat. In Jaylen's defense, this guy has been on multiple deep playoff runs early in his career. He has never missed the playoffs, and he's been the second best player on a finals team. Obviously, if he develops his handle, he can take his game to the next level. Up next, we have De'Aaron Fox at number 17. This season, De'Aaron Fox became the clutchest player in the league, and he was incredible in his first playoffs. It really sucks that he got injured, but I think they built a perfect team around him. If they're able to continue building, they'll be great. I also love how he's developed a deadly mid-range shot. It makes him almost impossible to guard, especially in the playoffs.
At number 16, we had Trae Young. This is another player that a lot of people are low on, but we're actually quite high on him. We have seen this man take the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he's one of the best offensive weapons in the whole NBA. The entire Hawks offense has revolved around him ever since he entered the league, and his shooting and playmaking are as good as anyone's. His biggest issue, I would say, is his attitude. Multiple reports have come out about him not getting along with teammates and having disagreements with his coach. He is coming out 2 first-round exits, but that might change after another season with DeJounte Murray and with the roster being shaken up.
Next, at 15, Ja Morant. Despite a disappointing season due to various controversies, I think he's going to come back ready to perform after his suspension. This guy has consistently been the best player on his team for 2 seasons, and he has looked unstoppable in multiple occasions. He's had highlight dunks, highlight finishes, and he's just been incredible. If he gets his stuff together and becomes a better leader for this Memphis team, I 100% believe Memphis can contend for a championship.
Next up is one of our personal favorite players, Kyrie Irving. He has honestly become underrated. Despite being in the media for reasons other than basketball, when it comes to scoring, few people do it better than him. He has the best hand in the NBA and is still in his prime. Kyrie being brought into Dallas was very unexpected, and he actually looks pretty happy there. If Dallas can find the right combination of defenders and shooters to put around him and Luka, they can return to being a real threat in the West. Kyrie, to me, hasn't really worked out as the number 1 option, but as a second option, he's one of the best we've ever seen.
Next, we have Anthony Davis. He is probably the best defender in the NBA. He helped lead the Lakers into the conference finals and was the healthiest he has been since 2020. The healthier he is, the better his performance will be because that gives him confidence. Everyone knows a healthy AD is a top 5 player in the league.
At number 12, we have another injury-prone star, Kawhi Leonard. It's very unfortunate what has happened to Kawhi with the Clippers. It feels like he's been injured every single season, but we saw how good he was in the playoffs before the injury. And if he had not gotten injured, I'm confident they could have easily beaten the Phoenix Suns. With a fully healthy team, we could be talking about the champions. Their team might be the best on paper. And it really sucks not being able to put Kawhi in the top 10 because talent-wise, he's arguably top 5.
Next, at 11, Damian Lillard. I don't know where Dame will end up this year. We're hoping that it will be in the Heat. But he had the best season of his career last year. He is getting older, but I don't see him slowing down. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time and one of the best scorers in the NBA, and a top 3 player in his position. All he needs is a little bit of help.
As we begin in the top 10, we had Devin Booker. Booker's so good and he's still so young. He's playing like the best player on his team, a team that has Kevin Durant in it. These past playoffs, he was definitely a top 3 performer, showcasing how pure of a scorer he really is. Booker's only going to continue to improve.
At number 9 is Jimmy Butler. He's the biggest playoff riser in the whole NBA. While he's not the best regular season player, and that's why he's not ranked higher, you can always count on him in the playoffs. We fear that his championship window might be closing with the Miami Heat, missing 2 chances to secure a ring against a superior team. That will change, however, if they're able to get Dame.
At number 8, we have somebody that we have hated on a lot, Joel Embiid. This guy's an absolute monster. One of the most skilled centers we have ever seen in the NBA. But our biggest problem with him, he's always injured and there's always an excuse. He exerts so much energy in the regular season. We saw it this past season. He tried so hard to get that MVP. He kept whining and complaining and he finally got it. But then he absolutely pooped the bed against the Celtics. The Celtics had a real chance of finally making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he underperformed big time. Putting the MVP of the league at number 8 is tough, but that just shows you the difference between his level of play in the regular season and the playoffs.
At number 7, and this might be a little bit low, but we have Kevin Durant. He hasn't had a good playoff series 2 years in a row now, which is strange for a player that we've been able to trust so much. Him pulling up to the Suns doesn't even feel real, and now it feels even crazier with the addition of Bradley Beal. Regardless, KD is still an elite scorer and has become a great defender. I would say he has about 2 seasons to add to his legacy by winning a ring. But if he doesn't, the criticism of him riding the Warriors' coattails will continue forever.
At number 6, we have our all-time favorite player, LeBron James. It sucks not being able to put him in the top 5, but he is getting older and it's starting to show a little bit. The injuries are piling up, and his playoff performance wasn't up to par what we usually expect from him. I do believe, however, this season, LeBron's going to be healthy again. And we're going to see the version of him that kept the Lakers playoff hopes alive from December to February all by himself. This is the first time since 2021 that the Lakers are entering the season as a real championship contender. And I know LeBron's hungry for his 5th ring.
At number 5, this might be a bit high, but we have Jason Tatum. a player we're both extremely high on. Tatum is one of the few young superstars in the league and has proved it by getting farther and farther and farther into the playoffs. He can do almost everything on the floor, and his defense is incredible. He has continually improved, and I think he's finally going to be ready to be the best player on a championship-winning team.
Number 4 is Luka Doncic. Luka has made an All-NBA first team every single season except his rookie year, when he still won Rookie of the Year. This past season was the most disappointing season of his career, yet he still averaged 32, 8, and 8. This guy's incredible. There's just no other way to put it. I know this is cliche, but I really do believe he's going to come back better than ever. Motivated, hopefully in shape, and ready to dominate the league.
At number 3, we have Stephen Curry. Last year, he was incredible. He's still undisputably the best shooter in the NBA and is stronger than we've ever seen him before. The Warriors lost in the second round, but it was not his fault. He recently said he feels like he's in his prime, and his play proves it.
At number 2, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, the most physically intimidating player in the whole NBA. If he's running at you full force, you don't have a chance to stop him. He has been number 1 on most people's lists ever since he won in 2021, but we just can't put him there after his last playoffs. The Bucks listened to the Heat obviously can't be put fully on him as he was dealing with an injury, but in the 2 games he did play, his big flaws were exposed once again. Regardless though, he's just too good to be put anything lower.
Finally, at number 1, no question about it, we have Nikola Jokic. He's an NBA champion and a 2-time MVP. We could end it right there, and that's already more than 99% of the players in the NBA have ever accomplished. Jokic's final run this past season was extraordinary. He solidified himself as one of the greatest passers of all time, a 3-level threat, and disproved the myth that he's a bad defender.